All right, guys, welcome to Akron, New York, and welcome to the final episode of our series here on the end of Rite Aid. Here, let's go inside one more time. Let's be discreet. Ambulance. Let's be discreet, and we'll go inside and we'll go check this store out. I would bet that it's busy, so hopefully that won't bother me. Everybody, and like you heard, welcome to episode 10, which is the series finale here of the end of the Rite Aid Corporation, and welcome to Akron, New York. Now, I decided to show this location for last because of a couple reasons. Number one, as you guys know, and I've been trying to get north, south, east, and west of the Buffalo city limits. This is east, it's about 45 or so minutes east, just on the edge of Erie County. And, you know, this is a very unique looking Rite Aid. From the outside, it doesn't look very different, but the inside, the way it was laid out, I've only seen this a couple other locations. Actually, I did see this at one I went to after this, I was in Pennsylvania, but this was a unique layout. This store was huge and it was definitely needed. And we'll get there here in a second, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this Rite Aid series. I've enjoyed putting this together. But onto the history of this location was built as a Rite Aid, and according to town records, I was able to see this open up in 2010. So it's only been here about 15 years. And when this came here, this was a huge boom to the area. And this is why, I think out of all locations I filmed, this is definitely going to hit it the hardest. This is the only pharmacy here right in this town of Akron. This is a small community here. As a matter of fact, I do have uncle and who actually lives in this town, and that's with this pharmacy. But there isn't any other pharmacies right in town. There is not a Tops, there's not a Wegmans, there's not a CVS, there's not a Walgreens. So after this one closes, it's going to be about a 10 or so, between 10 and 15-minute drive to a nearest pharmacy. And again, for some of the people that are older and don't have transportation and have to take buses or something like that, it's going to be a really huge hassle. That's why I hope that for this particular location, that they do get this filled. Maybe a CVS will move in here, and maybe a Walgreens, or maybe Tops or Wegmans will try to find the only location. I don't know. But for these people, this is going to be really devastating, as this had everything that people needed besides prescriptions, over the counter stuff, food. And there isn't too many, like, even grocery stores around here either. So this was like the one-stop shop here in town. The only other thing they had, I believe, was a Aldi, and I also saw a gas station, and I believe a Tim Hortons and a few local places. But that is it. That's all this town has. So for that aspect, it's very devastating, to see this location leave. As I said, out of all 10 I've been to, this is going to hit the hardest. I mean, most of the other towns that I've been to, as you probably heard, there's been at least one of their pharmacies. There's literally nothing. And so that's really gonna hit this town of Akron hard, and I hope that everybody here, they can try to get out to a new pharmacy, at least for now. But as I mentioned, I really do hope that they can get something in here. Something did buy this building, because when I look at a property record, it didn't say it was for sale. So I don't know what bought it. I hope it's another pharmacy. Obviously, if I come back here to something interesting and it still looks like a Rite Aid, I'll come back in here and shoot another video for you all. But this is it for now, as this pharmacy is actually now closed. This was filmed over a month ago. I tried to film these ahead of time to get these done because I didn't know their closing dates. So, but it is sad, and for everybody here that is working here, I do wish them the best of luck, as well as obviously finding jobs in this small community is not going to be easy, and I hope that they can find jobs, especially pharmacists. I know there isn't too many other options, although they did transfer records somewhere. I don't believe it said where, but I'm thinking probably Alden, or all the way in Batavia, which either direction is about 10, 15 minutes. But only time will tell what happens particular location. As I've said in my other episodes, if if you guys do hear, anything, or you guys want to comment down below about the history of this particular location for my local people, as well as the history of the Rite Aid Corporation, feel free to comment and down below. Also, stay tuned, guys. This is a longer episode, as I'm gonna throw in, and you're gonna see where I break it down. I'm gonna start the official and conclusion of the series, where I'm gonna do another voiceover, you will hear later on, and and we'll talk when it gets there. But for the rest of the tour here of this particular location, at least the inside, I am out for now. But I will see you guys outside, live from Akron, New York. Alex Weinsheimer is out. Well, guys, I did it. I filmed the 10th and final Rite Aid for you guys. And honestly, for being the last one, this store was really nice. And it's going to be missed because it's the only one in town here. Here's the other side of the store here. Really busy store too, which honestly made it easier for me because they were too busy focusing on their customers to bother me. But I enjoyed putting this together for you guys. It was cool. I got to go to 10 different towns here within the 716 area code and do this for you guys. I was surprised the pharmacy's still open because this store's been on the chopping block for a couple weeks, but it is for now. There it is. I'm not going to go too close because there's people up there, but well, here we are. Now that most of the Rite Aids here have closed up and locked their doors, this is what we are now left with after the demise of this company. In 1,200 or so communities across the East and West Coast, this is all you have left. Empty pharmacies, locked up doors, fixtures and shelving left behind, and nothing but just memories and cobwebs had remained. And it really is sad, and it's the end of an era for many communities here in not only here in Western New York, where we lost 71, but across, they said both East and West Coast. Pennsylvania had over 300 locations. California had over 300, locations. I know Virginia, Maryland had dozens. Oregon and Washington State, and they also lost the Bartell Drugs Company, which was part of this. So this really is the end of an era. But more importantly than this, it is the end of a neighborhood pharmacy for these communities. Many of these Rite Aids from me going to these stores and also being a fellow Rite Aid customer myself, this was a family type atmosphere. People would actually come into these stores and they would know their pharmacist, know the employee then by name, and they became friends. And that is quite sad that now all we're left with is most of the Rite Aids have now closed or are about to be closed within the next couple of weeks. But for anybody who has any of these former Rite Aids that are either still open for the next couple of weeks, I hope you guys do go inside and just walk around and just think about all the times that you may have went in there, not even get a prescription, but just being up at 1 o'clock in the morning dealing with terrible stomach pains or craving like that late night snack. Just remember that. And for those of you who have who all they have left is the empty Rite Aid, just if I were you, take a photo or two, just remember this was a iconic pharmacy chain at one point. At its peak, it had over 5,000 locations, which is just crazy to think. I mean, that's more than what Sears had at its prime, and we all know Sears is probably the most iconic retailer of all time. So I'm gonna leave it, and with that, I hope you guys did enjoy, look at these Rite Aids. As I wanted to end it here was just taking a look at the two empty ones that are in my hometown here of Hamburg, and just just say goodbye to this iconic pharmacy chain that had a lot of meaning for a lot of people. Anyway, I mentioned, from the end of episode 10, if you guys did enjoy, make sure hit like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned to what I got next. I still got a bunch of videos here from my trip in May, as well as I'm also doing another trip this coming weekend out to the DC area. I cannot wait. I'm putting some videos out together from there. And I might go live because I've not gone live in a while, but we'll stay tuned for that. But in any event, I hope you, as I said, I hope you all that enjoyed it. And by the way, guys, that was a really sad message that they did write on that piece of paper. It really hit it home for these all being gone, as well as that little notice too. But if you all did enjoy, make sure hit like, comment, and subscribe. And hope you all have a good rest of your weekend wherever you may be. And I will talk to you guys later. Live from here from Hamburg, New York. Alex Weinsheimer is out, and I will talk to you guys later for the next video. But for now, I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you all later. And bye-bye for now.